Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Carlton People. I've got a special guest with me today. He has joined the Blue Abroad family. He's now one of our many talented video editors. I've got Willem with me. Willem, hello mate.
Hey, how are you, Tez?
I'm good. I'm excited for this.
Definitely really exciting stuff.
Yeah, it's good to get something down that we can look back on in the old memory bank one day.
Definitely.
What's happening in your world, mate?
Yeah, so I'm really interested in video editing and all that. I love content creation. And yeah, I've reached out to you and you've probably seen some of my work, some of the fans seen my work. I made the preview for the Carlton Collingwood game. And I love all the history of Carlton and all that. And you probably saw that in the video. I was really attracted to the club because of the passion. And I want to capture that through my video.
Yeah. So how did you first become a fan of the club? Where does it really all begin?
Well, it's a funny story. My as soon as I popped out of the womb, my uncle signed me up as a Essendon supporter. Shock horror. Yeah,
Okay.
he had me signed up, membership and everything when I was just a wee one. And then came around 2008 and I went to a game with him and he was really pumping me up. And he was on the other side. I was with my dad on the other side of the ground. He was on the other side. And he was so happy that I was an Essendon supporter. And I still remember to this day, I was sitting in the stadium and I just got this feeling from our fans, the fans that are now, that I wanted to be Carlton. It was an Essendon home game.
Wow.
But I wanted to be a Carlton fan because I was sitting around these people and I just was so connected to them. And I felt like they were on the same wavelength with me. And I just fell in love with Carlton. We lost that game. We didn't win the game. We lost it, which is I've gotten used to now. But I was just like so captured by these fans and how much passion is in the club that at the end of the game, my uncle came over and said, "Oh, are you happy that we won?" And I'm like, "No, I'm sad that we lost," because I was switched. By the end of that game, I was a Carlton fan.
How old were you?
Oh, so I was so young. So I was born 2002 to six
Wow.
years old.
That's
Tiny,
mate, that's a
tiny little
very
bubba.
that's a I mean it's very rare that I hear one of the stories about how people became a fan and I'm shocked. That's done for
Yeah.
me. That's
So
different.
yeah, to this day, I still go. So I went to the game, obviously, Carl Essendon with him. And yeah, I'm so happy we won that because I could just give it right to him. But yeah, that was the day I changed
I
and
like it.
for the better.
I can't help but feel like you didn't choose the club chose you.
Up 100%. I wouldn't say it any other way.
Okay, so 2008 is the beginning. That's a very interesting time to start supporting. Well, that was really, I actually remember that game. We lost that game. Judd and Lloyd, I think, had a head clash that game. It was later on in the year. I remember us losing that game. You started supporting at that time. So Judd, Murphy, Gibbs, Cruiser. We started playing finals pretty much straight away, 209, 210, 211. Then it all came crashing down. So what were your early memories? I mean, obviously you mentioned 2008, but what are some of the early memories of your life that you remember?
I didn't go to many games when I was a youngster. I've only really gone to games recently now.
Yeah.
But back then I didn't really go to many games. Most of my memories are just watching the TV. I obviously remember the Walker mark. That was just, I remember watching that on TV and just being like, I've got to play this sport. This is amazing. And that blew me away. But I think, I've got so many memories. One was Dad and I were watching the footy and I think we lost to Fremantle in a game. It was in the 2010s, 11, 12s. And he was really commenting how much Freo was like amazing. And I used to not be able to watch a game if we were losing. So if we're losing at quarter time, I'd turn it off and I'd be crying and I was an absolute mess. And we were watching the Fremantle game and Dad was saying, "Oh, they're such a good club and all this," back when they were good. And then I was like, you have to be a Fremantle supporter then, because I was so connected to Carlton that if anyone said anything good about any other club, I would just be like, nah, I cracked it. And I think that's just through those games, I was just so connected to the club.
Yeah. Who were your favorite players growing up? Because I think when you're young, you always latch. I generally think kids latch onto players first? Maybe not so much in your case, but who are some of the players that you loved watching more than the others?
Oh, that's a good question. I always loved Judd.
Yeah.
I always thought he was an icon of the game,
Mm.
and he represented us really well. But I also, I'm trying to think. I think Murph has always been a good server of the club as well. In recent times, I haven't been the biggest fan, but I think he's definitely put his heart and soul into the club. So yeah, back in those days, probably those two guys were the main ones, which is pretty typical back in the day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Judd was obviously great. Murph was, he definitely paid off that number one pick that we used for him, especially 2008, 9, 10, 11. And then I think once the injury started happening and his body started breaking down, it's been a different story for him. Then we get to this new rebuild. So we start again.
All over again.
What do you make of what's happening with the current crop right now? So obviously at the time of filming this, we've just lost to Geelong, but we don't want to talk about the game as such, but more so the high level. Like, what do you feel about the club?
I think we're in a really difficult position. I think no one can say that we're not in a bad position. I think that the position that we're in and what we expected, and even as fans, what we were promised was broken. So we were promised finals and we had a right expectation. Maybe other fans will say that we didn't have an expectation. It was stupid, but there was a promise made. And I think that it hurts a lot for fans when a promise isn't gone through. And I think that really hurt us as a fan base, and it's really kind of caused a lot of conflict. But the current position of the players and all that, I think is okay. I think there is some players that are just representing us. Like, I've got to give a shout out to Liam Stocker. He is the heart and soul of Carlton Football Club. He showed every single game. I know he hasn't got the best kick. He was the one that kicked the goal from the behind and slotted that, wasn't he? Yeah, it was that one, which was great. But he is the heart and soul, and that's what I want. I think one of the old legends of the game in an AFL 360 interview was talking about the lack of rat bags, and I want to talk about that too. I think our club is too nice. We are made up of such great people, and they're great blokes, and you can see them in interviews. They care about the club. They're good people, but they're not rat bags. They're not out there to hurt. They're not and it's stopping us from being as passionate as we can be. I feel like when we go out there, and I want to really see this because this is obviously before the Collingwood game, and hopefully in your review, we're talking about how they were really passionate, but I want to see Liam Stocker type moves. I want to see jumper punches. I want to see them really care and try to show what Carlton can do to Collingwood, and show the want and the rat bag and how angry they can be. Because it doesn't matter who you are on the ground. You put your heart and soul out there. You can come off the ground, and they're all wonderful people, I'm sure of it. But when you're on there, you need to show that passion and that hate, especially to Collingwood.
Yeah, I feel you. Hate's a very strong word. I used it in my preview, and I thought about, maybe I shouldn't use that word. But no, I was taught, it's not a hatred. It's not a real hatred. It's just more of a in the moment. I was watching the Essendon game earlier today, and we played with the spirit. We did. There's effort, and then there's like a will. There's like a will to not lose at all costs, and a will to punish with tackles. And I think you're right. I think Luke Power even spoke about it with us on the channel as well, where he said, who these guys are off the field doesn't have to be who they are on the field. It's very interesting. I wonder if that's the thing that's holding us back from going to that next level, because the way I see it, the list is there. I don't know about you, but I don't think we need too many more pieces. There's a lot of talent there. And right now there's quite a few injuries, but when they were all healthy, they just weren't playing with that spirit. I think you're right.
Yeah. And I do agree with you. I think we have the list. A lot of people, like I see in the comment sections, fans are divided on if we have the list. And I think belief is what we need right now. Belief in the list, especially in the next the end of this season and to the next season, we need to have belief in the list to everyone to be healthy because they're amazing players. These are some very, very good players. We've got very high top picks. We've got good picks. So we need to have belief in this group.
Yeah.
But it's just a mindset thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
What are some of the lowlights that you remember? Because I think when it's all said and done,
too many, Tez. There's too many.
There are quite
there've been a lot of lowlights. I know this is people call me strange for thinking this, but even last week was a really low light for me. You probably saw I was probably a little bit over dramatic in my edit, but in the Carlton Geelong game, I had hope, and I thought, let's show it to a top 8 side. Let's do it. Let's just fuck everyone. Fuck what they say about what Carlton's piece of shit. You go on all your socials and they're all like, oh, Carlton never makes shit. I just wanted to like a statement, we've still got this and we can still punish people. But it was I just sat there and thought, are they playing like they play like they respect them too much? They were playing like they were playing a senior side or something like that. They were playing like they were respecting everyone and wow, Zach Tui looks really good these days. And it's wow, Patrick Dangerfield, he's really good. And it's just that respect kind of needs to fade. And it's understandable because Geelong has a great list. In my opinion, they should have won. They really should have won. They had the best list in the AFL last year and arguably a really good list this year too. And I think that our boys we gave them way too much respect when we're a team with so much history and we deserve the respect, We've worked so hard over so many years to earn this Carlton title, but it was just we're respecting Geelong, and I'm not a big fan of Geelong either, so
no, fair
that
enough.
also hurt.
I feel and I've seen some interviews recently where they talk about, for example, the Collingwood Carlton rivalry, and I've heard players talk about, the rivalry is a bit more of a thing of the previous generation. I wonder if there's much in that. I'm not sure how much of the past is really looked at internally now. I'm not sure if we've tried to move too far away from the past, if we're trying to build the brand to be more, catered to the new world, the modern world. I don't know. I feel like there's just so many more questions than what there are answers when we talk about the club.
Yeah. I think you're right there. I think they are trying to move away from rivalry, but then again, it seems like there was more passion and more hate and more just soul in the Adelaide clash. That had so much soul, I thought. Even though Port smashed Adelaide, I felt like there was more soul, it was more dramatic between the two sides.
Oh, you mean the Showdown?
Carlton, pardon?
You mean the Showdown?
Yeah, the Showdown.
Yeah.
And I think if they create that between Carlton and Collingwood, if they lose that rivalry and they lose the passion around that, I really think Carlton won't be who Carlton really are.
Yeah.
I would say new generation Carlton, and I have that hatred.
Yeah. It's I didn't grow up in the 80s. I didn't see the famous clashes either, but it was just taught we don't lose to Collingwood. It was an inherent thing. And maybe because of this new rebuild and we really cut everything up, and I don't know. I'm hoping that in a year from now, we look back at this interview and we say, it's okay, they were just laying the foundations for finals. But
yeah,
I feel like until we see it, we can't, we have to stop with this. Oh, it's working. Until we see it, then we can say it's working, right?
Yeah, I think demonstration is what we need, and heart, and we need one. And that's what I thought would be our Geelong game, would be that one game in the season that's okay, because if there is no game this season, we're in a lot of trouble, more trouble than we thought we were in.
Yeah.
And not
an
against
upset win?
An average side, against a good side.
Yeah. You mean like a win? I think you're right. Even last year we beat Geelong, we beat the Doggies. The year before that, 2019, we beat the Doggies. I'm not sure I can't remember off the top of my head who the upset was, but yeah, I think you're right. There needs to be something this year. I'm not sure how you feel. I don't feel like we've had a game or a period of form this year where I'm like, yep, we've gotten better from last year.
No, not at all. If not
Yeah.
worse, we've gotten worse from last year.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. I don't think we've improved. I think we've taken steps back. And you're right, there's been no run of form. Because a run of form means that we can take on different opponents and take on different challenges. And we've shown we can't do that. We've shown we can't, which is really disappointing. And yeah, I want to put emphasis on that. We need, and maybe it's the Port clash. Maybe that's the game that we can prove, we're away and it'll be, the odds will be terrible against us. But if we show up in that game, I can sit back at the end of the season and be like, okay, there is something, they do actually want it. There's something to build upon here.
Yeah.
But I don't want another, a win against North. And it's like, it's good, it's a win, but it's not really.
Yeah.
And they're playing with more passion than we are.
At the moment, it looks like it. Yeah. So talk to me about the group now. Like, who are some of the guys who you latch onto who made, is there an unsung hero? Is there a kid that you see and you're like, okay, he's going to be a gun when he's older? Or do you just latch onto a guy like a Sam Walsh who's just a generational talent?
Well, yeah, everyone knows how great Sam Walsh is and how much he can represent Carlton. And that's obvious, everyone will say, and I completely agree with them there. He's a great player. He just puts everything in. He's the one that's puffed, and I'm really, really proud of where he is and where he's going to go. And it's really exciting to watch him play. An unsung hero, I think, is Matt Owies. He doesn't get much credit, and I do find he does have his games that he's a little bit quiet. But I think those early games in the season, I loved watching him. And I had last week and last couple of games, but for some reason, I had faith in him when he had the ball in his hands that it would go through the middle post, like the middle two posts. There was something about him and I really connected with him and his forward pressure, and I really felt good. Who else?
You mentioned Stocker. I like that one.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I just love Stocker. I think if we ever drop him, then we're in a lot of trouble. And I know, and his skills will improve. And there's been the question between midfield and defense with him. And I think that he might be better in the midfield if we play him in there, but you just got to test it out. And I feel like if he plays defense and he's roughing up, he's there to rough up people, and I want him to do that for the rest of his career. I'd love to see him he is the annoyance. Yeah. You pick on the big guys.
The rat bag. I like it.
The rat bag, exactly. He can be our rat bag.
I like
exactly.
It. So before I let you go, I ask everyone this question before we finish up, and basically what you're seeing, which year is going to be the year that we hold up the cup?
That is a very hard question. What year? I am saying 2025.
2025.
So next year is building, and I think a finals appearance will come in 23, and I think we'll be low.
22, no final. Like, you're not expecting finals?
I don't think we'll make finals. I think we'll get in top 10, but I don't think we'll make finals. I think we'll just have a near miss. And I think that'll be good for the side. I think a bit of a heartbreak will be good, and that will actually spark a bit of hunger and a little bit of, we want to see the boys hunt like absolute dogs. I want to see that. I want to see Richmond type side, because I think they have it in them. And I think it'll only develop over time. And I think 25, even 24 will be in a very good position.
Okay. So you're going to give me more heartbreak next year. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I'm saying that we're going to go through more heartbreak next year. I'm saying that I feel like we can sniff finals, but just miss out. A little bit of heartbreak so we can win for the rest of the seasons to come.
All right. Well, I hope you're right in terms of when we win the flag, but I hope it's not at the expense of finals in 22. But hey, let's watch this back in 2022 and see how we go.
Yeah, let's see how we go.
Love it. Listen, mate, love chatting with you. Appreciate your work. I'm sure the fans will see more of it as the as time goes on. It's great to have you, expressing your creativity through the channel. And I hope to have you on for much longer before someone comes and nabs you up.
Yeah, I'd love to be on. Thanks so much, Des.
Good on you, mate. Go the Baggers.